says, why do I emulate? This was probably going to be multiple answer scenario. And for each and every one of us, it's going to be different. So let me know in the description, or sorry, in the comment section below, why you decided to emulate. For me, it might be different from why you do it. So let me know in the comment section below. But for me, like I said, it's multiple answers. A bit of background first. I actually own around 30 plus retro video game consoles. Growing up, I had quite a few consoles. I never threw them out. But also, I was given by friends many of the systems. A Sega Dreamcast, an N64, a Nintendo GameCube, a Atari, Atari 5200 ST. I found someone was throwing it out of their home as I walked past. So a lot of my collection is actually from people wanting to throw away their stuff. And I would say, hey, I'll take it. I offered money, but majority of them were friends that knew I was into the stuff. And they were just happy to get it out of their closet, out of their wardrobe, or just out of the attic. So most of that, I'm lucky enough in that scenario. But obviously, I cannot hook them all up. In the scenario I live in, or where I'm living, I cannot have a dedicated room, which I would love to one day. I love watching YouTubers who have these amazing retro video game collections and massive rooms full of just a library of classic titles. And obviously in a situation like I said, I can't have that. That's okay, but one day maybe I'll be able to display my setup. Another reason for me moving to emulation, I suppose, would be pricing. I think pricing would be on everybody's list. Gaming, in terms of retro video games, the pricing is absolutely gone through the roof. The price of consoles where I live in Ireland is absolutely insane. Now, you can go to what we call car boot sales over here. You call them flea markets, and you might get yourself a bargain. But most of the retro video game stores, there's only one where I live, but that one in particular, it's an absolute joke. They want for a yellowed Super Nintendo with third-party controllers and a third-party power supply, no box, no manuals, they're looking upwards of $70 to $80 for this absolute bucket of you-know-what. And that is the state of retro video gaming collecting where I live. So this is another reason why I've just moved over to emulation. Pricing. Let's look at Higane right now on eBay. So Higane is a very popular game. It's a really good game. I actually own a copy before it blew up on pricing. This is how much Higane costs. Keep in mind, it's a Super Nintendo game. So every time someone mentions that, hey, PS5 games are going to be upwards of 100 plus, I'm like, come look at the prices for a Super Nintendo game. It's a joke. It really is a joke. And this is from someone who, when he first was kind of into re-getting those games as a kid, I paid $5. It would be, in your conversion, $5 for WWF No Mercy. That's how much I paid. I never owned a copy. I owned WrestleMania 2000. My friend had No Mercy, so like majority of the time I was playing it in his house. And as I got older, I wanted my very own copy. It cost me $5. It's not going to cost you that now, but can you imagine paying that? And like I said, Higane, a joke. Sunset Riders, classic game. A friend of mine had. I looked at the pricing recently, and to most people, that might be reasonable. To me, it's not, because in the back of my mind, it's a Super Nintendo game. Another game would be Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the Super Nintendo. That same friend who had Sunset Riders also had this game. And I said to myself, oh, back in the day, let me have a look at the price. I want that game. And when you look at it, oh my God, this is again a Super Nintendo game, and not a good one at that. The Super Nintendo version is not really that good. Trust me. It's really compressed version of this game. And that's the price. Earthbound, other games, it's just unbelievably ridiculous, the pricing of, and I know I'm only focusing on the Super Nintendo because that's one of my favorite consoles growing up, But if you were looking at the prices of Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, as you call it, games, the pricing has gone to a point where I don't want to collect these games anymore. I don't want to buy them, and I don't want to buy a game just to put it on a wall or on a shelf. I'm buying because I want to play this game. That's why I was collecting. I was like, hey, I couldn't afford that game when I was younger. Now I can. Let me play it. Wait, it's €90. No. That's just how I am. That's how I roll. So that's another reason why I don't, or why I started emulation. So we have the ease of use, the pricing, and overall, it's just better, in my opinion. Now, I know there's many out there will say, you're not playing on the original hardware, but we're getting to a place now where if you look at websites like, or systems like the Analog 3D, that is an N64, basically, hardware system. So you put in your original cartridge, you can plug in your original controller, I believe, or you can use one of theirs, and you're technically playing an N64, but are you really? I mean, for that price, you could just get the 12 terabyte hard drive I have. Hey, I'm not telling someone how to spend their money. It's a you decision. But for me, I spent 180 on a 12 terabyte hard drive where I can play hundreds of systems. This thing plays one for that price. The Retron 5, I believe, plays multiple systems. But for the price when it came out, again, I prefer emulation. I'm moving a lot more to emulation these days because it's easier, it's cheaper, and I know it's never going to replace the original, the feeling of the original system, but it's just easier. So that's why I emulate. So let me know in the comments description. Oh, sorry, down in the comments why I say comments description. It's twice now. Let me know in the comments down below why you decided to emulate or what moved you towards emulation, especially if you were someone like me that used to buy retro video games. I hope that answers the question for people. And as always, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like to. And I'll see you in the next video. And like I always say, have a lovely day.